Alright, time for another update on the aquaponic hot tub, and my algae problem has cleared up. What I've been doing is I have this cover for the tank, and it's the old cover that was for the hot tub. So I just normally leave it closed like that during the day, and it keeps the heat and the sun out of it. And then I can just open it up in the evenings when I want to do work on it and such. And I moved the structure up onto the seat because they didn't seem to like it down in the depths. I added another fountain, just trying to aerate as much as possible. And then I added this little piece of PVC pipe with the holes drilled in it in order to get a few more points of aeration onto the water. But you can see my sediment, my overflow comes from the bottom there. You can really see it now that the water's clear, and out through the side. And up in the grow beds are doing real well. The watermelon's kind of coming along, not too fast with watermelon, but the strawberries are blooming, big time blooming. If you look down in there, there's a number of blooms in there, and a number of blooms coming up. And then the spinach has just gotten real thick. If you look at that, this is just like leather. It's kind of hard to see in this light, but that's really taken off. The spinach is doing a lot better in the rock bed than it is over in the float bed that you'll see later. That's the oregano and my tomatoes, and then the basil. Well, the lettuce is absolutely huge. That's not a camera angle, it's just gotten massive. In fact, some of it had to be relocated, it was too close together. This is the basil. It's all the basil, and then these tomato plants I just moved in here, so they're kind of still under a little bit of shock. But this is the first one I moved in. I first planted. That it planted very small. They've now taken hold, doing quite well. You can see they're real sturdy. And this guy's a new one too. We had some wind here in the last few days, so I had to put up a board just to kind of shelter the wind there. And now down here in the float bed, you can see the lettuce has gotten real nice and thick. And I've just planted some new lettuce over in these. I started going this route. Just got them sitting in some Spanish moss I threw in there. And I just transplanted these bits of basil. A little bit of root growth coming through now, but that's real newly planted, transplanted I should say. And whatever else there. Then I did some replumbing and kind of cleaned up this side last night. My overflow comes out of that tank and flows along here. I took the overflow from my fish tank as well, and I just piped them all the way down here, and they flow into my sump tank, which is actually a 50-gallon fish tank. Down in there I got a bucket of coral sand just to help balance the pH. pH sits right at 7.8 all the time. Might be a little on the high side, but the fish seem to like it, and it's all going well there. Over on this side I planted a bunch of peppers, fairly newly planted, and a couple more watermelons to try and go off of this side, and also tomatoes that are newly planted, so they're still taking the hit. They're recovering. I had a lot of trouble with this the siphon valve on this one, and then that's a row of lettuce I just stuffed in there, and all that flowing along. So that's about it. But this one, the reason I had the trouble with this siphon valve is it flows from there down here and into my float bed. Oh, and then of course the best part is underneath here. If I can even lift it, I'll show you the lettuce roots are really growing. You can see they're getting nice and big and healthy, all white. I put lots of bubblers in there because it seems the bubblers really made a difference on how the plant started responding. So anyway, that is the extent of the hot tub aquaponics.